it's clear to probably all of you who are already subscribed to my channel that the COVID-19 hysteria has come about as a direct result of propaganda. It has been an intentional deception designed to create hysteria, mass hysteria, in the population. But the only way that can work is if people are deriving their sense of the risk of COVID-19 exclusively from the liars. If all they're doing is watching CNN and these carefully crafted propaganda pieces that are designed to create as much fear as possible, and if all they're doing is then maybe trying to gain a sense from the curated and censored content on some of the main media platforms, we know that the people who are still terrified, who were initially terrified and or are still terrified, are so as a result of the fact that they have allowed somebody else to control all the information that comes in through their senses, and they have not taken the time to do the math and realize how absolutely ridiculous all of this is. In addition to that, even if we accept their numbers, and we have absolutely no reason to accept their numbers because they are lying and they are intentionally trying to create hysteria, even if we accept their numbers, it's still ridiculous. This idea that 60 million people die globally every year, and that is perfectly okay, but all of a sudden we're supposed to surrender every basic human right that's enshrined in our constitutions. Well, you know, different countries have different constitutions, but the general idea of freedom of speech, freedom of being able to interact with other people, freedom to work and earn a living in lawful businesses, all of these are pretty basic things that are being destroyed here. With the pretext being that there may be again, accepting their numbers, a less than 3% variation in the annual normal mortality rate of the global population. It's crazy. Now factor in, again, that they're lying about everything, and that 20 to 25 million seniors die every year. 20 to 25 million. Do you think that maybe they're harvesting the vast majority of those COVID deaths from that 20 to 25 million? Not to mention now there are the flu deaths are magically down. We know they're harvesting from that as well. I don't want to get too much into this. We understand the concept of the people who have been taken in by that fear and how they will remain in that mindset until they start doing the math themselves and or start getting some other pieces of information from other experts, for instance. The 11,000 plus experts who disagree with the probably less than 100 experts who have crafted this narrative and shaped this global policy. But what about us, these people who know what's going on? Is it possible that we too still are being affected by propaganda? I'm going to read here. I've got a couple things here that I'm going to post, or that I'm going to read, that are from sheriffs here in Ohio. This first one: I have received several calls about the governor's suggestion that everyone wear a mask. Well, it is up to the business owners to enforce this, as they do with the requirements to wear a shirt and shoes. There is no law to enforce, so please do not call us in regards to this. The health department would be the ones to call. Along with that, the governor of Ohio has suggested a curfew from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. for the next 3 weeks. Again, we do not have the authority, the time, or the willingness to even attempt to enforce this. Your deputies will continue to enforce laws and investigate crimes in the county to keep people safe. So, again, using just a basic feel based on the information that's curated and censored and provided to us, we might think that of these 524 reactions here, quite a few are going to be angry that the sheriff dared to post such a thing. Well, I'm happy to inform you that that is how many people are angry out of 524. It is literally 65 to 1 in favor. They either like, 65 to 1, either like or love this post. 365 more, it says at the bottom there, and 110 more at the bottom there. That's not the only one we got here. Here's another one. Waynesfield Police Department. Governor's curfew order response for residents. Governor Mike DeWine's curfew order will be effective for 21 days beginning at 10 p.m. on Thursday. After being on a 36-minute phone conference with the Ohio Department of Public Safety that followed the governor's press conference, here is the official statement from Waynesfield Police Chief Nathan Motter on behalf of the Waynesfield Police Department. Quote, the Waynesfield Police Department will absolutely not be conducting traffic stops on vehicles for curfew violations, as the order has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Politics aside, this latest order is quite literally impossible to enforce due to the number of exceptions and loopholes. No matter what law enforcement does with this order, attempt to enforce it or not enforce it, we lose. People are likely to complain on both sides, and civil liability is still very much unclear. Therefore, just as the Waynesfield Police Department has not been the mask police, we will not be policing adult curfew violations. If you wish to report such a violation, call the Ohio Department of Health. So, how many people of the nearly 600 here approved of this message? Based on the media, if you watch CNN, oh, these are the crazy outliers, right? This is the 10% maybe would approve of this, but 90% know how deadly and dangerous and how necessary all these things are. It is literally 100 to 1. And to be honest with you, I'm not even sure what this care emoji means. But there are 6 people under this care emoji, and then all of the rest of the 600 have either liked or loved this. So the purpose of this video really is to make clear that I think that we have to be careful that we're not being swayed without realizing it into thinking that we are a smaller number than we actually are.